What's going on? It's December the 11th, and I'm at my hunting club. I worked last night, so I smell like Fruit Loops. So maybe to be a secret deer attractant. Hasn't worked for me yet this year. I haven't had any luck hunting right after work this year. See a deer or two, and that's it. But today, my plan is to go in here in these woods I'm headed to right now. I think I'm gonna find some place to sit down on the ground, maybe do a little rattling, and sit there for an hour or so, depending on what I see. I got a camera in here I want to check it, and then I got a few other cameras I'd like to go check this morning. Try to make some kind of game plan for this late season stuff. I've never killed a good deer this late in the year, but I haven't really hunted as much as I want to this year. Usually by this time, I'm kind of burnt out on it, but I just haven't had the opportunity to hunt like I wanted to this year. And the times that I have been hunting, it's been kind of rough on me. But I'm not by my lonesome. There's a bunch of people up here that's had a crappy year, so anyhow, let's slip off in these woods, see if we can't find us something. I don't like no deer moving through here this morning. At least not at this late of an hour. I'm gonna go ahead and ease up. Go check this camera. It's on a scrape, but this really is the best time of year to have cameras on scrapes. Scrape's probably dead, but most likely I'm gonna leave it there because this scrape right here is one of them scrapes that stay there year long. It was actually there the first time I went in here during bow season. It's like one of them community scrapes. You always find deer on it no matter what. I just don't expect to see a whole lot of activity on it. Let's go check it out. It ain't been working a little bit. Let's see if we got anything. Well, it had a lot of pictures on it. One mature buck that couldn't really tell much about. He wasn't working the scrape. It might have been him in another picture. I'm gonna have to study it. But, the same buck I got pictures of earlier in the year, I believe. His rack ain't hitting on much at all. He's really, if he's 4.5, he's on the very bottom end of the spectrum of what I'd want to kill. I've been saying all year, I want to shoot a mature buck, but I don't want to just shoot a straight up scrub because, well, what am I going to do with it, We're in the CWD zone, and the older a buck is, the more likely it has CWD because they roam so much more than does, and most of the older bucks up here test positive, so it's not like I'd be shooting just for the meat. And I'd at least want something I could skull mount, That being said, I'm gonna say 4.5-year-old deer, 4.5 plus, mature buck, for me to shoot. I'd really want him to be about 115, which isn't much of a rack, in my opinion. Now, it's just a personal thing. If you enjoy shooting 115-inch deer, or that's what your goal is, don't let me knock you. And that's kind of my rule on shooting bucks, You shoot spikes, shoot 3 points, 4 points, whatever. If it makes you happy, then you're not doing nothing wrong. Deer hunting's supposed to be fun. So, shoot them, Now, it's going to come a time when you shoot that 3 point, 4 point, 6 point, whatever, and you're gonna get to it and you're gonna think, dang, hey, it's not very exciting. Well, that lets you know you need to start letting them walk. You know, bump it up, make it a little more challenging. Get that excitement back. You know, shoot a bigger one. You gotta let them smaller ones walk majority of the time if you're trying to get a bigger one. But like I said, I don't frown on nobody out there that's shooting smaller bucks as long as it's making them happy. Now, if you're one of them people that's shooting them smaller bucks is going to constantly complain, well, I can't never kill a big buck. I don't know why I can't get lucky. Well, if you're shooting the first thing you see in the stand, probably the problem. Let them small bucks walk. The big one might come in behind it. You might go a season or two without shooting anything if you get, you know, to the upper echelon of what you're trying to kill. Which I'm not trying to kill no Boone and Crockett, but I want to kill a deer, you know, that's got a decent rack and is mature, or is at least 3.5 and has some horns that I would like to mount. I haven't mounted a deer in probably 4 years. He was the biggest buck I ever killed, which he was only 135. So I'm gonna say 130 plus is what I'd really like to shoot. That being said, you know, I will shoot a 115 if I know for sure that he's mature, because if a deer's got a weak rack and he's mature, he's probably gonna get much better when he's 5.5. You know, he might gain 2 or 3 inches, but after he's 4.5, he ain't gonna blow up the next year and go from a 115 to a 140 class deer. So you're getting them genes out of the pool, and ain't that great. Not to mention, it's hard to kill a mature buck. The bucks don't know if they're a 115 or a 150. They're all basically just as smart. They've been around that long. So killing a deer that's mature, it's a fair chase no matter how big his horns are. So to me, killing a mature buck is rewarding as crap regardless of his horns. Alright, well, I'm gonna ease back to the truck and go to another spot and just check the camera. See what's on it. Alright, this camera I'm going to go check hasn't been out but about a week. Interesting to see how it did. I wanted to buy a couple cheap cameras, so I went to a little sporting goods store and I got a couple of those Muddy brand cameras. And I got home, I looked them up, and they have a terrible review rating. I think it was like 1.5 stars. Everybody talking crap about them. So, needless to say, I saved the boxes and the receipts. This camera up here, it's on a scrape too, but it's on a real good travel corridor, so it looked like a little trail right up through there. It was tilled up with deer tracks. So I'm expecting to have some pictures on it. Well, I didn't have a picture of a deer on it. It took about 20 pictures, and every one of them was nothing. And me walking in today, this scrape is dead. I figured to get some pictures of some deer walking down this old logging road. There was another scrape right behind me, but it was pretty dead too. But it was more deer tracks down that way. I might walk down there and see if it's a better spot to put the camera up. I hate to take it off the tree because I really don't have anywhere else to put it, not offhand. And they don't take pictures of anything when they're in your backpack or in your truck. So let's see if we can find something real quick. And I just got it on a real good trail. Coming straight up through here into these pines. One good tip. You see that camera kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. It's always a good idea to put your cameras up about 6 foot high. Generally deer don't walk around looking up. so that can kind of help hide your camera, because deer can see a camera on a tree. Alright, let's ease out of here. That's kind of disheartening a little bit. I figured there'd be something on this camera. Might be taking them cameras back. Alright, so this next spot, pretty good bike ride. What it is actually is, the last time I was in the club 2 years ago, I left a camera way back here. I'm gonna go back here and see if it's still on the tree. Not real optimistic about that. It's worth a shot, and I might try to do a little scouting while I'm there. Let's go. Well, I made it back here, and my camera is no longer with us. Either somebody picked it up or the whole tree is gone, because they come in here and thin these pines out. These pines were pretty thick, and it was on a pine tree, and half of them's gone now. So far for the course. I wouldn't really hanging much high hopes that it would be here. Luckily it was a cheap camera, but anyhow, kind of wasted the trip back here. I don't want to hunt here. My brother has been hunting not too far from here, so I don't want to step on his toes. Not to mention he ain't had much luck anyways in here, so ease on out. It's 11:18. And it's kind of getting late. Let's slip on out of here. Ended up doing a little scouting. I found some decent sign. Actually, I found about 7 or 8 really fresh scrapes, and they was all pretty decent size. But I mean, it could have been 2-3 points, and Spike went in there and did it a couple of days ago, so who knows. I wish I had a camera with me to put on it. I should have pulled that muddy camera that didn't have a picture of a deer on it and put over there, but oh well. It was all pretty concentrated. It's a spot I might check out. Kind of debating on whether to hunt this weekend or let it rest. Tomorrow's Saturday, and it's supposed to rain most of the day, but it could be pretty good tomorrow afternoon if that rain gets out. We've got a cold front pushing through, so they could be on their feet tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth missing work for. Haven't given up yet. Can't give up. We still got about 3 weeks of hunting left. I'll be off a few days around Christmas time. I think Easton wants to go at least one of those days. I'd like to throw a Hail Mary and just try and get after them hard and heavy for 2 or 3 days before Christmas time. I feel like the longer you wait this time of year, the harder they can be to get to kill. But we'll see. It's good deer killed every year, last day of season, so I'm gonna give them all I got next time I get out there. I'll see you guys on the next one.